Italy has sent shockwaves across its banking sector with a surprise 40% windfall tax on banks' excess profits derived from higher interest rates. The levy is worth several billion euros and will be used to cut taxes and offer financial support to mortgage holders whose loans have soared. Spain and Hungary have imposed similar measures. Well, let's talk to Lorenzo Codogno, visiting professor in practice at the London School of Economics and a former chief economist at the Italian Treasury. Lorenzo, welcome back to the programme. Good to see you. So what's behind this rather surprise move?
Well, I think it's a major mistake because it's clearly a populist move to kind of attract political support. I would say if you ask Italians, probably 90% would say that they are in favor of taxing banks. It's an easy target. But the reality is that it doesn't really provide a stable competition and tax framework for investment in Italy, which is pretty bad. And moreover, it could actually also undermine a stable flow of credit to the economy in Italy, given that banks now have to worry about the interest rate margin.
So, in your view, what's likely to be the reaction then in terms of those investors looking at Italy in the long term as a prospect?
Well, the measure is still not final because it was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers. It is a low degree, meaning that it has to go through Parliament in September, and there will be changes, of course. Moreover, I think it will be also challenged on constitutional grounds because it is retroactive and it hits only a specific sector. So it's not the final word. But if it goes through, and probably it will, I think it will produce damage on Italy's stance towards financial markets and Italy's stance towards competition in general. So I think it's negative. It will make permanent damages for the perception on Italy's economy by international investors.
But it might do rather well for the government. I mean, there presumably are lots of votes in giving the banks a good kicking.
Yeah, that's the case. That's why they did it. But again, it might produce permanent damages on the economy, which will be hard to recover. So I think net is certainly a very bad move by the government going forward.
So if not this, what were the other solutions that might have been introduced?
Well, first of all, we are addressing an alleged market failure here by means of taxation, which is not a good idea. If there is a market failure, you should address competition law. You should address markets, change the regulation in markets. And there is plenty of ways to do it in the banking sector. There is a supervision of the Bank of Italy. There is a very active authority on competition and markets. So I think if there is a market failure, we should address with market regulation. Now, I think doing that via taxation is a mistake because, first of all, it's not the right tool. And secondly, it could actually send the wrong message. I got many questions today, who's going to be next? And certainly there is a very good candidate here, which is the construction sector, because the construction sector made a lot of money over the past 2 or 3 years, given the very generous subsidies introduced by the government and next generation EU infrastructure projects. So again, this might produce a series of concerns on other sectors of the economy and produce permanent damage in the perception by investors.
Lorenzo, we'll get you back on when they start clobbering the construction sector. Good to see you. Lorenzo Codogno, visiting professor in practice at the LSE in London.